University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello. Only one place remains in the second round. It'll go to whichever team wins tonight. Now, both of tonight's contestants lost their first-round matches, but did so with scores creditable enough to earn them this final chance to qualify. The team from the University of Southampton took an early lead in their first-round match against St Catherine's College, Cambridge, who obliged them by digging themselves into the minuses and looking quite happy there. By the halfway mark, though, they'd lost the lead and failed to regain it and were 30 points behind at the gong. Still, it would have been much worse without Southampton's knowledge of meerkats, wolverines and raccoons, and their familiarity with the horrible histories books. With an average age of 26, let's meet the Southampton team again.
Hello, I'm Will Cable, I'm from Swindon and I'm studying for a Masters in History.
Hi, I'm Sarah Stock. I'm originally from Cardiff and I'm reading chemistry.
And this is their captain.
Hello, my name is Tricia Goggin. I'm originally from New Ross in Ireland and I'm doing a PhD in biomedical engineering.
Hi, I'm Roland Sadler. I'm from London and I'm doing biology.
The team from Queen Mary, University of London, had a similar experience to Southampton's in their first-round match, with an early lead against Nuffield College, Oxford, dwindling down to a losing score of 130 to 165 at the gong. They were strong on the events of the noughties, the history of the Smithsonian and the plays of Bertolt Brecht, despite the fact that some of them are pursuing areas of study that might be regarded as somewhat niche. Let's remind ourselves of those as we meet again, the team from Queen Mary.
Hi, I'm Kate Lyons. I'm originally from Nottingham and I'm studying for an MD in sphincter preservation.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Howard-Smith. I'm from Bishop Stortford in Hertfordshire and I'm a PhD student working on the cultural history of the lapdog in the long 18th century.
And this is their captain.
Hi, my name's Verity Williams. I'm from Eastbourne and I'm studying medicine.
Hi, I'm Yolanda Lovelady. I'm from Formby near Liverpool and I'm studying medical genetics.
Well, you all know the rules. Let's just get on with it. 10 points for this. Fingers on the buzzers. Meanings of what four-letter word include a person who stands firm, the solid mineral material that forms the surface of the earth, the flesh of a dogfish, cubed ice in a drink?
Southampton Goggin.
Rock.
Correct. Your bonuses, the first set of bonuses, Southampton, are on swallows. Quote, "For as it is not one swallow or one fine day that makes a spring, so it is not one day or a short time that makes a man blessed and happy." This statement appears in the Nicomachean Ethics, a work by which Greek philosopher?
Aristotle.
Correct. True hope is swift and flies with swallows' wings. Kings it makes gods and meaner creatures kings. Richmond says these words on the eve of battle in which of Shakespeare's histories?
Richard III.
Correct. Now with trebles soft the redbreast whistles from a garden croft and gathering swallows twitter in the skies. These are the last lines of an ode by John Keats. To whom or what is it addressed?
Nightingale? Grecian?
Nightingale.
Nightingale.
No, it's to autumn. 10 points for this. Which novel of 1910 contains the following lines in its introduction? "When I began to ransack the archives of the National Academy of Music, I was at once struck by the surprising coincidences between the phenomena ascribed to the ghost and the most extraordinary and fantastic tragedy that ever excited the minds of the Paris upper classes."
Southampton Cable.
Phantom of the Opera?
Correct. These bonuses, Southampton, are on 19th century legislation. Which decade saw the passing of the Infant Custody Act after a campaign led by the novelist Caroline Norton? Her estranged husband had refused her access to her children and unsuccessfully cited the Prime Minister, Lord Melbourne, in a claim of adultery.
1830s, I think.
1830s.
Correct. Some of Norton's later proposals were included in the Matrimonial Causes Act, which permitted women to sue for divorce in a civil court. During which decade was this act passed? Lord Palmerston was Prime Minister at the time.
It's either 50s or 60s, I think it was the 1850s.
1850s.
Correct. The Married Women's Property Act of 1882 ensured that married women had the same rights over their property as unmarried women. Who was Prime Minister at the time?
Gladstone.
Gladstone.
Correct. 10 points for this. Give the four-letter name of the plant cultivated since ancient times for both yarn and oil, and which has featured several times on pound coins as a floral emblem of Northern Ireland.
Southampton Goggin.
Flax.
Correct. Southampton, these bonuses are on microbiology. Firstly, what infectious agents are classified by the Baltimore system?
Viruses.
Correct. In this system, Group 2 are those viruses with the genome designated as ssDNA. For what does the double S in this expression stand?
Single strand.
Single-stranded is correct. In the same system, Group 5 includes the orthomyxoviruses, genera of which cause what broad group of diseases in vertebrates, including pandemic outbreaks affecting humans?
Myxovirus.
It's definitely not flu virus.
Give me type of disease. Type of disease.
Old. That's rhinovirus, isn't it?
Is it just plagues? That's not right. I don't know.
Skin diseases.
No, it's flu, influenza. 10 points for this. Which pear-shaped organ is located in the upper abdomen with its head adjacent to the duodenum and its tail extending across the midline almost to the spleen? Most of its...
Queen Mary lines.
Pancreas.
Pancreas is correct, yes. Right, these bonuses are on the operas of Verdi, Queen Mary. Rewritten after Francesco Maria Piavi's original libretto was banned for what its Venetian censors called its obscene triviality, which of Verdi's operas was based on Victor Hugo's play Le Roi s'amuse?
We don't know.
That's Rigoletto. Secondly, unusual among Verdi's operas in that it has an abstract concept as its title, which work features the family of the Marquis of Calatrava and premiered in St. Petersburg in 1862.
Tre Vittoria?
No, it's the Force of Destiny, La Forza del Destino. And finally, based on a Shakespearean theme and featuring characters named Bardolfo, Pistola and Mistress Quickly, what was the last opera to be written by Verdi?
Falstaff.
Correct. Right, we're going to take a picture round now. For your picture starter, you're going to see a map showing a European city. 10 points if you can identify the city.
Queen Mary Howard Smith.
Bologna.
Bologna is correct, yes. Bologna, as you know, is home to what's usually held to be the oldest university in the Western world. Your picture bonuses show the locations of 3 more of Europe's oldest universities, all founded before 1300 and remaining in operation today. In each case, I simply want the name of the city marked. Firstly, for 5.
Salamanca.
Correct. Secondly,
Is that Lisbon? No, that's on the southern coast.
Should go for Lisbon. Yeah. Lisbon.
it's Coimbra. And finally,
Siena? Oh, no, wait, Pisa. Is that not Pisa? And it's got really old university, hasn't it? Yeah.
Pisa?
no, it's Siena. Bad luck. 10 points for this. Instrumentation is to music precisely what colour is to painting. Which French composer made that statement? Born in 1803, his works include Harold in Italy, The Damnation of Faust, and the Symphonie Fantastique.
Southampton Stock.
Oh, it's wrong. I was going to say Sanson, but the actual name's gone out of my head.
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
right, it is wrong. Right, anyone like to buzz from Queen Mary?
Queen Mary lines.
Berlioz.
Berlioz is correct, yes. Right, these bonuses, Queen Mary, are on gambling. Used in ancient Greece as an early form of dice in games of chance, the astragalus is a bone in which joint of the human body?
Is that enough for a
They definitely use knucklebones for gambling.
Knuckle?
That's the ankle. How many of you are doctors or medics over there? It's in the ankle. In the 1650s, which French mathematician conducted a frequent correspondence with Blaise Pascal about the solution to a gambling game, and in doing so laid the foundations of a mathematical theory of probability?
Le Gaulois.
No, it's Fermat. And finally, set in the fictional town of Roulettenberg, The Gambler is a short novel by which Russian writer?
Dostoevsky.
Correct. 10 points for this. Give the four-letter abbreviation of the international organisation that produces the Red List of threatened species. A comprehensive...
Queen Mary Howard Smith.
IUCN.
Correct, yes. Right, your bonuses are on food, specifically dishes that, according to the u.gov website, are among the 10 listed as particular favourites of viewers of this programme. In each case, name the dish from the description. Firstly, a meat dish named after the composer of the 1816 opera, The Barber of Seville. It consists of fillet steak with foie gras, truffles and a Madeira sauce.
Or beef rossini. Beef rossini.
Beef rossini.
No, it's tornado rossini. An Indonesian dish of chicken stewed in coconut milk and spices in a style sometimes known as caramelised curry.
Beef rendang.
Beef rendang.
Well, I said specifically it was chicken.
Chicken rendang.
I'll accept that is rendang. Yes, I'll accept that. Credited to Constance Spry and Rosemary Hume of the London Cordon Bleu Cookery School, a dish devised to mark an event of 1953.
Coronation chicken.
Correct. 10 points for this. Listen carefully. Abbreviated forms of words meaning the Queen of the Sciences, according to Gauss, and alcohol impregnated with methanol may both be made using letters of the name of which British river?
Southampton Cable.
The Thames.
Correct. Maths and meths, for example. Right, a set of bonuses for you, this time on historical climatology, Southampton. For what do the letters LIA stand when referring to a period from the 14th to the 19th centuries marked in general terms by colder winters in Europe?
Little Ice Age.
Correct. The Little Ice Age coincided with the Spura minimum and the Maunder minimum, periods of unusually low activity of what solar phenomenon?
Solar flares. Yeah.
Sunspots. Sunspots or solar flares?
Sunspots.
Sunspots.
Correct. One theory holds that the Little Ice Age in Europe resulted from the reversal of an atmospheric circulation pattern over the North Atlantic, abbreviated to NAO. For what does the letter O stand?
Oscillation.
Correct. 10 points for the starter question. The Conservative politician Ian MacLeod is credited with coining what portmanteau term in 1965 to describe a situation of high unemployment combined with high...
Queen Mary Williams.
Stagflation.
Stagflation is right, yes. Right, your bonuses are on the words of Oscar Wilde. In each case, give the precise single word that completes the following. Firstly, from The Importance of Being Earnest. The truth is rarely pure and never...
Simple.
Correct. Secondly, from Lady Windermere's fan, experience is the name everyone gives to their...
Mistakes.
Correct. And finally, from the picture of Dorian Gray, a man cannot be too careful in his choice of...
Yeah, sounds good.
Enemies.
Correct. We're going to take a music round now. For your music starter, you'll hear a piece of orchestral music by an American composer. 10 points if you can give me his name, please.
Queen Mary Howard Smith.
Oh, Copeland.
Correct. Barley Wagons from Of Mice and Men. That was a part of the film score, of course, of the film of that name. Your bonuses are pieces for film by three more classical composers who, like Copeland, produced a significant body of music for film in addition to their concert works. In each case, I simply want you to identify the composer, please. Firstly, for 5.
Williams? Yeah, why not?
John Williams.
No, that's Ralph Vaughan Williams, Scott on the Glacier from Scott of the Antarctic. Secondly,
That's from Robin Hood. Who wrote the music from Robin Hood. Adventures, everything.
Who was running that and who was doing that?
come on, I think we better have an answer.
Robin Hood.
Mencken?
No. Willie.
Come on, I need an answer.
I don't know.
Oh, what a shame, because you did have the right film. It was from The Adventures of Robin Hood. It was by Eric Wolfgang Korngold. And finally...
Oh my God, it's not Mary Poppins, is it? No, it's not. It's not at all.
Some 20th century classical
Come on, let's have it, please.
I don't know.
That's Shostakovich. Right, we're going to take another starter question now. Fingers on the buzzers. Their name derived from the Old French for throat and specifically associated with the Gothic period, which often grotesque architectural features...
Southampton Goggin.
Gargoyles.
Gargoyles is right, yes. Right, these bonuses, Southampton, which will give you the lead if you get them, are on ballerinas. Having performed in Nureyev Swan Lake in 1984, which French ballerina became, at the age of 19, the youngest person in the history of the Paris Opera Ballet to hold the rank of star?
Oh, a French ballerina? She's too old.
Anybody a French ballerina?
Margot Fontaine.
No, it's Sylvie Guillem. Which Spanish ballerina left the Royal Ballet in 2012 to take up the artistic directorship of the English National Ballet?
Sophie.
I don't know her surname.
Anybody? Sophia.
Is it something to do with that? I'm thinking an R word, like Ro. No, I don't think we're going to...
Ramones.
No, it's Tamara Rojo. And finally, born in St. Petersburg in 1881, which prima ballerina was particularly noted for her performance of The Dying Swan?
No, too much older. Maybe that is Fontaine.
Russian?
Oh, not Russian.
Russian ballerina.
No, Margot Fontaine again.
No, it's Anna Pavlova. Right, another starter question. In the first words of Jesus in St. Mark's Gospel in the New International Version and Tweedledee's recitation in Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass, what four precise words precede "The kingdom of God is near" and "the walrus said"?
Queen Mary Howard Smith.
It's time to talk.
Anyone like to buzz from Southampton? It's "the time has come." 10 points for this. 18,000 light-years away and containing a micro-quasar, the nebula previously known as W50 was renamed in 2013 after what aquatic mammal, sometimes known as a sea cow, whose shape it...
Southampton Stock.
A manatee.
Manatee is correct, yes. That gives you the lead. And your bonuses, Southampton, are on botany. From the Latin for juice, what term denotes a plant with fleshy, thick tissues adapted to water storage, such as cacti?
Succulent.
Succulent? No.
I think so.
Succulent.
Correct. Secondly, succulents employ a modified version of carbon dioxide fixation and photosynthesis known as CAM. For what do the letters CAM stand?
Modification.
Carbon activated modification, isn't it?
Carbon-activated
No, it's
modification.
Tracylacine acid metabolism.
I would have been that.
And finally, a popular houseplant. Which succulent has thick serrated leaves and produces a bitter medicinal sap used in cosmetics and as a treatment for burns?
Aloe vera.
Correct. Right, we're going to take a second picture round now. For your picture starter, you're going to see a poster for a film adaptation of a short story. 10 points if you can tell me the title and the author of the story. Any helpful wording has, of course, been removed.
Southampton Saddler.
The Pit and the Pendulum.
Yes, who's it by?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Correct, yes. You'll see the whole thing now. There it is. Now, The Pit and the Pendulum was one of a series of adaptations of Poe's Tales of Terror by the filmmaker Roger Corman. Your picture bonuses are the posters of 3 more of them, again with some text removed. In each case, I want the title of the work by Poe on which the film is based. Firstly, for 5.
Stories by Poe?
It's not the Raven either. It doesn't look like a Raven. I haven't.
Come on, let's have it, please.
The Terrifying Red-Faced Man.
Well, close, close, but not close enough. It's The Mask of the Red Death. Secondly...
Oh, goodness.
Night of the Cat. I don't know.
Anybody? Night of the Cat.
No, that's Ligeia. Let's see the whole thing. There it is. And finally...
Oh, my goodness. She's buried alive. No? What was the one you said, the first?
Telltale Heart. I'm not sure. I don't think it
Ugh,
is.
never
One
mind.
of them has to be a famous one.
Yeah, The Telltale Heart.
No, that's The Fall of the House of Usher. There it is. Right, 10 points for this. Which Latin American country links a fungal disease that can devastate banana crops with a type of headgear made in Ecuador? The latter has a wide...
Southampton Saddler.
Panama.
Panama is correct, yes. Right, your bonuses are on islands named after the day of their discovery. Firstly, for 5 points, which volcanic island was named by Columbus after the day of the week on which he first sighted it? It was the birthplace of the novelist Jean Rhys in 1890, and it became independent of Britain in 1978.
Dominican Republic, named after Sunday.
Yeah.
Dominica.
Dominica.
Dominica?
Yeah.
Named after Sunday. Dominica.
Dominica is correct. Named by a Portuguese navigator in 1503, which volcanic island was uninhabited until British Marines were stationed there in 1815 to forestall attempts to help Napoleon escape from St Helena?
The one down the...
Ascension Island, I think.
Thursday, yeah. Ascension Island.
Correct. And finally, one of the most remote inhabited islands in the world, which Chilean territory is also known as a Rapa Nui or Isla de Pascua?
Easter Island.
Correct. 10 points for this starter question. Sinis the Pine Bender and Procrustes the Stretcher were among the bandits and outlaws overcome by which legendary king of Athens?
Southampton Saddler.
Theseus.
Correct. Your bonuses, Southampton, are on colours. In each case, tell me the shade of green named after the following. Firstly, known by a 4-letter common name, any of more than 10,000 species of small, flowerless, spore-bearing plants of the class Bryopsida.
Fern.
That's moss. Oh. Secondly, a copper carbonate mineral used ornamentally and as a gemstone.
Jade? No.
Green? Copper carbonate.
Amber.
Amber's not green.
Green and
Jade.
white.
No, it's malachite.
Yeah, I was about to say malachite.
And finally, a small dabbling duck, for example, Anas creca.
Yeah.
Teal.
Teal is right. Another starter question now. Often used of barnacles, what term in zoology derives from the Latin for to sit and means immobile? In botany...
Southampton Saddler.
Sessile.
Sessile is correct. Your bonuses this time are on euro coins, Southampton, using information from the website of the European Central Bank. Which country's 1 and 2 euro coins depict its national emblem, a 2-barred cross on 3 hills?
Is it? OK. Slovakia.
Correct. Which country's 1 and 2 euro coins show a cruciform idol from around 3000 BC? It is said to reflect the country's place at the heart of civilization and antiquity.
Greece.
No, it's Cyprus. And finally, Raphael's portrait of which poet appears on the 2 euro coin of Italy?
Italian poet. Poet. Dante.
Is he Italian?
Let's go
Dante
for
would have
them.
been Renaissance in 1400s.
Okay. Dante.
Dante is correct. 2.5 minutes to go, 10 points for this. What is the five-letter common name of epidemic parotitis, so called because one of its symptoms is the swelling of the parotid and other saliva?
Queen Mary Williams.
Mumps.
Mumps is right, yes. Your bonuses this time are on publishing, Queen Mary. In 1937, Penguin Books gave the name of which other bird to a series of non-fiction publications launched with George Bernard Shaw's Intelligent Woman's Guide to Socialism?
Pelican.
Correct. In 1940, Penguin began publishing books for children under what imprint? Also the name of a
Puffin.
seabird. Correct. Appearing in 1946, the first volume in the Penguin Classics series was E.V. Rear's translation of which epic poem?
The Iliad.
It was the Odyssey. 10 points for this. In which country is the Baikonur Cosmodrome? The current...
Southampton Saddler.
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan is correct, yes. Your bonuses this time are on ancient Greece and modern vocabulary. Firstly, from the inhabitants of a Greek city on the Gulf of Taranto, which adjective means devoted to luxury and indulgence?
Hedonistic. Hedonistic?
Yeah.
Hedonistic? That's what it means. I don't know if that's a place in Greece.
Hedonistic.
No, it's Sybaritic, or from Sybaris. After the perceived corruption of the Attic dialect by colonists of Soloi in Cilicia, what term denotes a non-standard or improper use of grammar or syntax?
Anybody?
No, we don't know.
That's a solecism. And finally, the region around ancient Sparta is the origin of which adjective meaning concise or pithy in verbal expression?
Laconic.
Correct. 10 points for this. Born in around 1502, Atahualpa was the last ruler of which empire?
Southampton Saddler.
The Inca Empire.
Correct. 15 points for these bonuses, Southampton. They're on Russia. In each case, give the present-day name from the description. All three begin with the same two letters. Firstly, a Russian exclave on the Baltic Sea between Poland and Lithuania.
Kaliningrad.
Correct. Secondly, an inlet of the Arctic Ocean into which major rivers such as the Ob and the Yenisei flow.
No, it begins with K.
Oh, yeah.
Pass.
That's the Kara Sea. And finally, a peninsula in the Russian Far East, the location of around 10% of the world's active volcanoes.
Kamchatka.
Correct. 10 points for this. Which of Shakespeare's title characters is the son of Volumnia and the husband of Virgilia? Banished...
Southampton Goggin.
Coriolanus.
Correct. You're going to set the bonuses this time on Archbishops of Canterbury, Southampton. What is the surname of the father and son who both died in office and at the gong? Queen Mary London have 120, but Southampton have 235. Well, Queen Mary, we're going to have to say goodbye to you. It's back to the lapdogs and sphincters for you. But thank you very much for joining us. You've been a real treat to have with us. Southampton, 235 is a wonderful performance. We shall look forward to seeing you in the second round of the contest. Thank you very much for joining us too. I hope you can join us next time for the start of the second round matches. But until then, it's goodbye from Queen Mary London.
Bye-bye.
It's goodbye from Southampton University.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.